Hey guys, it's Courtney here with a highly sensitive badass, and I'm doing a Facebook Live right now, but I wanted to let you know I am going to download this to YouTube. So if you are watching me on YouTube, my name is Courtney, and if you're hearing me for the first time, I am founder of the Highly Sensitive Badass, and I am a transformational coach for sensitive, empathic, intuitive, and spiritual people who are on this world to make this place even better than it is already. So today I actually want to talk about forgiveness, specifically self-forgiveness and compassion. So I don't know if you are like me, but you might resonate with this a little bit. So as a sensitive person, there are times when I just get knocked on my butt because I've had too much going on. And so this week was intense for me. I was not sleeping well. I had a whole lot of stuff that I was working on and generating. And I had a few, moments where I was not at my best. So a couple of these involved like a meltdown around getting my daughter to bed one night where I was so tired that I just couldn't. She wanted something from me and I couldn't give it to her because I was so tired and I was just really struggling, and it created this dynamic that made me feel horrible because I wanted to be there for her, but because I was so drained myself, I just couldn't show up as the mom that she really wanted me to be in that moment. And it led to a lot of guilt, and I didn't handle it the way that I really wanted to. And I felt terrible in the moment, but I also felt like I just had to let it go, had to let the moment go. It was what it was. But I realized the next day when I woke up that the old me, before I have done all this work, I would have really judged myself terribly, harshly. I would have gotten out the old, the whip and like been, hitting myself on the back and just making myself feel so terrible in a prolonged way about how I acted. And I would have judged myself in many, many ways, especially around my sensitivity. I used to look at this, if I'd had a moment like that before working on self-compassion, before working on acceptance, before working on really just truly being okay with myself, no matter if I, basically reworking my idea that I needed to be perfect all the time. And I still struggle with this because it's a trait that, I really want to be my best at everything. It's a natural way that I am. And so when I'm not, it can be a difficult pill for me to swallow. However, I've come a long way. So the old Courtney, and you may relate with this if this is where you are now, would have been so hard on myself, like truly unforgiving. I would have, berated myself all the next day, asking myself, how could I have done this? I'm a terrible mother. Why? And then I would have gone into kind of victim mode. Why am I like this? Why do I have to struggle this way? Why am I so sensitive? Why can't I, handle as much as other people seem to be able to handle? So I would go into comparison. I would go into judgment. I would go into a place where I am not accepting who I am as a sensitive person who does get overstimulated, who does get affected if she doesn't get good nights of sleep 3 nights in a row. And this thing that we have, especially around something we know is a meltdown because of our sensitivity, can make it really hard to accept our sensitivity. And so another thing that I used to do was to really judge that and hate it. I really hated it. I did. And I hated that I was so sensitive because it would lead me in overstimulated moods. I would act in a way that I didn't like. I didn't like myself and the way that I was acting in that moment. And there was just no gentleness with myself. There was no compassion, and there was no forgiveness after the fact if I behaved in a way that I wasn't proud of. And this time around, I really noticed a difference. So I wanted to make this video because I really noticed my battery is dying. I have to end this video soon. Sorry, I keep having to click that thing. But the thing that I noticed that was so different this time was just letting it go and being so gentle with myself and forgiving myself for not being perfect and forgiving myself for not always being on and not always being the perfect mom and not always able to tap into my compassion and not always able to be there for everybody else and not always able to control my moods and control myself. And I forgave myself and I moved on. And I didn't carry it around with me the entire next day, which was so liberating. And I wanted to make this video just to encourage forgiveness around your, anything that you think is a weakness because of your sensitivity. And just encourage forgiveness in general. We are all human. We are all imperfectly perfect. None of us are perfect. And if you are holding yourself to super high expectations the way that I used to do and still do sometimes, it's okay to relax that a little bit. And I'm encouraging you to examine this and just to see what standard are you holding yourself to? And is it reasonable? And if you don't meet your own standard or meet your own expectation, is that okay? Are you allowing that? Are you forgiving yourself? Are you loving yourself? Are you being compassionate with yourself? So that is all I wanted to say today. And if you're watching this on YouTube later on, I would love for you to check out my website at thehighlysensitiveBadass.com. If you're seeing this on Facebook Live, thank you so much for tuning in. I would love for anyone seeing this just to comment below. Let me know what you think about this video, or what has been your experience with self-judgment, lack of forgiveness, lack of self-compassion. And I have a free ebook on my website at thehighlysensitiveBadass.com. So make sure you download that. It's called 8 Steps to Empowerment for Highly Sensitive People. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.